Hello everyone and welcome to Prayerful Arts. I am going to take the next couple of weeks talking about color choices. It's a question that often comes up when I teach as what colors should I put on my egg? I don't talk about colors a lot on my YouTube channel. I explain what colors I do, but to me, the colors are secondary to the symbols and the process and the prayer and the meditation that goes along with it. However, we do want the colors on our egg to enhance our symbols and go along with them, make the colors cohesive with our symbols. But I do try not to get too caught up in the color isn't exactly what I want, because sometimes the egg doesn't want the color that I want. You have to go with what the egg wants. Sometimes you can work with it. But anyway, I have been doing pysanky for 18 years, and sometimes I even still struggle with what color do I want to use or what sequence. I will tell you that when I do a pysanka, generally, I have an idea of what colors I want to use before I put it in the first dye. I may not have the colors decided while I'm putting the wax on it for the first time, but I usually do have some idea once I start dyeing the egg. Sometimes I change my mind, and that's quite all right. But what I want to talk about is how do you go about picking colors to put on your eggs. So this was a beautiful basket of eggs here that I wanted to show you. And this bowl is really cool. I bought it at a an art show that I was at from a gentleman. It was a beautiful bowl. I love putting my eggs in it to display them. So I recently taught a class, a bunch of classes during Lent, and I made a color chart that just kind of had the colors going across like this. But I took those colors, and what I've done for this discussion is I made a color wheel. Now, this is not like the most perfect color wheel in the world, but it's pretty close. And these were all the colors that I had available for the classes. We had 36 jars of dye, so some colors I had duplicates of because they get used a lot, particularly like the yellow, the orange, and black. But anyway, there's 31 colors represented here. Most of these are Ukrainian gift shop colors. Some of them are blends of Ukrainian gift shop. Some are from Pysanky USA, and some are from Ukrainian accessories. And feel free to take a screenshot of this if you would like. And I have them coded out here. The wording's upside down depending on how you look at it, but you can kind of get a feel for it. These over here are what I would call the neutral colors. Now, Ukrainian Gift Shop has 18 colors, and they're all on here. Pysanky USA has a lot of colors. At one time, they had 80 different colors. Ukrainian Accessories has, I think, a little over 20. I have had, personally, the best success, most consistent coloring with Ukrainian Gift Shop colors. But there are a lot of good colors out there. Some of the colors are a little more finicky than others. They don't like dyes being taken over them. Some dyes will work better if the eggshell is white. Some work better if you have a base color on them. And 18 years of doing eggs, I'm still learning the way some dyes work. And sometimes it depends on your eggshell. So I'm talking in a lot of generalities here today. Anyway, so here's a basic color wheel. And I'm going, if we're doing the rainbow, here's the red, the orange, the green, the blue, the indigo, and the violet, and then I put pink up here because I didn't know where else to put it. Okay? So this is some basic color theory here. Some of you probably already know this, but I'm going to do it anyway. 3 primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. Those are your primary colors. And then from your primary colors, you get your secondary colors. You get your orange, your green, and your purple. So those are your secondary colors. In general, on a color wheel, this side over here are considered your warm colors. The yellow through red, pink, and they're considered the warm colors. You think of a hot sun, a red hot fire. The colors on this side are considered the cool colors. And these are, icy blue, cool green grass, that kind of thing. Generally speaking, you've got your cool colors, you've got your warm colors. When you look at traditional Ukrainian pysanky, and this is from a pattern, believe from the kids' book. What you see on the Ukrainian gift shop kids' book, what you see mainly are yellows, reds, oranges, maybe a little green. And that is because they were using natural dyes, and those were the dyes that were available to them. So those are the colors. So they're really kind of the hot side of it. And you see a lot of black background. The darker your background, especially if you have a lot of light colors, the more your light colors are really going to pop out if you have a dark background. So you really see the yellow, you really see the orange and the red. They pop out because they have this dark background. So that's one way to think about doing your pysanky, is use these traditional colors here. Very beautiful. Okay, well, maybe you don't want to do that all the time. So you can substitute these colors on this side, and you can also use black for your background. It will also pop out. Here's one where I did orange and blues, and it does have some yellow in it too, and it's okay. They don't have to be all one side of it. And again, I use the black and the colors pop out. So that is another way to look at this. Now in the coming weeks, I'm going to show you some more color combinations on eggs, but if you're not sure what to do, what colors, make a color wheel, or put the colors out there just so you can see them. You can see the array of choices. So we talked about warm colors and cool colors. So what I want to talk about, another way to look at the colors are, you can look at them and say, well, I'd really like them to be monochromatic. So maybe I'm going to use some of these blue shades together. This color here is called very light blue, and this color here, very light pink. And what that is a cup of distilled water, a tablespoon of either the light blue dye or the pink dye, 1 tablespoon, and 1 tablespoon of vinegar. And you get this lighter shade. I could have done that with purple too, but I didn't. So you can do that to make different shades. On this yellow-green color here, this is 3 parts yellow, 1 part light green. And all Ukrainian gift shop dyes. So I get kind of this shade in between the two, which is kind of like a light green, a spring green. If you make a color chart like this, please keep in mind, this is the color on, in this case, white watercolor paper. It will look different on your egg. Your egg will take the dye differently, and it will also matter as to if you had a color already on the egg and then you put another color on top of it. For example, if your egg is dyed gold and you put it in turquoise, you are going to get a very beautiful Christmas green. It's a beautiful green color. You're not going to get turquoise unless you wash off the gold first. Again, this is Ukrainian gift shop dyes. So, that's ways you can look at these colors. The other thing I want to talk about with the colors, besides the monochromatic, is you can use, using the analogous colors would be like the red, orange, yellow, yellow, green, blue, blue, purple, red, the ones that are next to each other. That's another way to kind of pick your color pattern. The third way you can pick your color pattern is to go with what's called complementary colors. So that is the color that is like directly across the color wheel from one another. Now that doesn't exactly work on here, but it's kind of close. So the blue and the orange, those would be considered complementary colors. That's what I did on this one. It's blue and orange. They work very well together. Another one is the reds, and like I have all these reds, and the greens. So where that works nicely is on something like this. I'm cutting the pink as red. So I've got pink and green. They look very nice together. Another combination is the purple and the yellows. I know they're not really right across, but they're pretty close. And I like to do purple and yellow on bees. They look very nice. So there's purple and yellows. And there you can see I did the blue and the orange. And it has a little bit of purple in it to give it some balance, and the bees have the orange in it. That one turned out cool. I like that one. And here we have the red and the green. So when I'm doing a larger egg, this is a Rhea egg that I'm holding in my hands. When I'm doing a larger egg, I'll tend to put more colors on it. You know, generally speaking, I have a bigger canvas. I have more room to put more details on it. And I like to do that. When I'm working on a smaller egg, like a chicken egg, I tend to limit my color palette a little bit more. So these are to give you some ideas. Again, you know, I would encourage you to think about what colors you want before you start putting them on the egg. You can always wash the colors off the egg, but I find if you wash it off, you have to let the egg dry for a while before you can do it again. So it's a little less frustrating if you kind of have a little bit of a plan. I write them down on a sheet of paper because I usually work on more than one egg at a time, and I'll forget. I just will. So I'll write it down. And then it helps me to keep things in track, especially when I'm doing one like this Rhea egg this one has a lot of colors on it, and it has all the colors on it. And I really had to think it through because it's like, okay, I'll do these colors and then I'll wash it back. And these colors I'm just going to put on with the paintbrush. And it was an involved process, and I had to keep track of it so that it limited my frustration, and also I had a deadline to get it done. So I didn't want to be making a mistake that was going to cost me time. Color wheels, color charts, they're fabulous to help and give you ideas. And then when you look at this, you might look and say, oh, look, you know what? This color would look really cool. Look at this blue and this orange or brick. These would look really cool together. And that's how this helps. So in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to show you some different examples of ones that I've done and talk about the color sequencing that I did on each of one of these, and hopefully give you some ideas on ways that you can use color to bring out the beauty of the symbolism of your egg. Because again, my opinion, it's the symbols and the process that are primary importance. Colors are secondary, but they are important to enhance the beauty of your overall pysanka. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for some more tips on how to dye your egg.